Hello there folks, and welcome back again to old school Runescape. Now, you probably recognise this area here. Yes, this is indeed the Abyssal Sire, and we're finally doing it right. But before I get on with actually showing off, allow me to show you this fucking amazing luck I had here. See if I can get this right. Yes. What you see does not deceive you at all. My first actually fucking good clue. That was just... oh man, it had to be the worldie. Had to be the fucking worldie. On top of that, yes, I also had a really fucking good sword trip. This, what you're seeing there, this is all one trip. A 16mm Zora trip and a 10mm elite clue I got for it. Like, what? Yeah, 26mm made in one day. This, all that time, I was bitching for like 300, 400 plus kills at a time, not getting one unique. Well, this is the sort of golden era of Zora. Yes, I finally got it. Also, yeah, in case you're wondering, this doesn't make so much sense on its own. Getting that's the Transit Vine, that's definitely the rarest by far. But alas, I got some very good luck in that, as you'll see shortly. And yeah, that was the one from the other half, so it wasn't just a one-off, and that second trip was just as good. And another 2 Tanzic fans and uncut onyx, so it was just, what the fuck. And also, whoops, that's a RuneScape meme there. Yes, so yeah, this is it here, essentially, yes. You'll see here, got 2 uniques, and actually 2 minor uniques in one trip. And I was just like, what? 3 kills apart. It's just, what even? What even? Yes, jumping for joy indeed. So, getting back to this. Yep, that's it there. So, alright. I say, without further ado, we actually show off the boss in proper fashion. Yes, of course by now you probably well know that this is hypercam doing all the business, because I figured, well, just doing it once, 3 times maybe, I felt it wasn't going to do it justice. And the reason I say that is because I figured, you know what, I actually want to do, like, try and see my luck if I can get one of those sort of good unsires. That's basically, the way it does uniques is a bit different, and obviously the norm is you kill a boss and then every so often, like, depends which uniques, good ones are like really rare, and then kind of good depending on difficulties, but it's actually shit unique for it. It is probably more closer to the traditional 100, 208. Although again, some bosses differ from that. If it's only unique, that's probably, it can vary. But yeah, you saw there how to do it good. And Abyssal Sire now is actually, yes, rather straightforward once you really get the hang of it. And by God, that method, what's it, the Player Roadhouse method, bloody brilliant. I learned it like just like that, and it was bloody amazing. Although the thing, what you're meant to do with this is what I'm doing here, and yeah, what I'm doing here is the whole. You start off the first run, and now of this big trip, you do the range, then you melee him and that to get all that killing stuff done, and then you range a second time, so that once you teleport back and then go quickly in, you just have to melee him again, then you do another range, and then you keep that back and forth, finishing up with just one melee bit. And right now, I would say a realistic estimation is probably about, like, right now I've got 2 super combats, 2 prayers, and 2 idols and energy. 1, right, to sort of correct myself here, yeah, 1, you don't need that many. 1 super combat, 1, you know, prayer just as a backup, and 1 idol. Also adding in a range on that, because I find that without it, you're much more likely to have to triple Shadow Barrage the sort of boss in that, and right now because I don't have rigor, that's, even though it still happens every now and then, which is unfortunate, but alas, alas indeed. So, the general strategy here is obviously, also yeah, energy pot's not needed, and that, because what you could do is just, when you're starting off, quickly take a stamina drop, like you would a Calphite Queen, and that kind of method, and then bank it with another food, and that's that way. Because once you get started, you probably notice when energy gets quite low, like sometimes just barely like about run out, or even in a few cases it does run out, but you don't actually need stamina. If your agility's quite good, like mine's is 81 at the moment, you generally don't need it, although I am questioning is maybe there's some gears that that's still really good and even better, but just weighs a little less. That could just save me a few extra energy points. That could be very much helpful. Also, yeah, having the bank, because, yeah, it's annoying when you get the super restore drops, because it fills up 4 entire slots, but it's too good to pass out for like almost 40k. And that, you know. Oh yes, the prayer pot superstores have surprisingly dropped, and a few pots have actually, like, super pots no longer 12, but I think just 10. Prayer pots are no longer a bit over 10, they're like 8. Superstores are no longer 11, 12, they're like 9. Fucking Stamina's got the worst of it. Yeah, that shit used to be like 7k, now it's 4.5. I'm like, fucking hell, the pots have been dropping prices. Though I can't complain, you know, I'm actually kind of glad they're dropping the prices, but it's just really surprising, and I know. But, yeah, as you see here with the Abyssal Sire, yes, this boss here is, oh, how can I even say it? It's like, it's a bit time consuming, but I mean, I have heard people saying like the Abyssal Sire is not worth doing. You know, like, I have half a mind about it. Like, certainly maybe if you don't have the annihilate to use, yeah, because that does a lot of the damage quite quickly in that, and I feel like, I don't know, I was doing pretty good. I mean, I did admittedly die a couple of times shortly after this clip, and that because I was just, yeah, you get a bit reckless, and now when you want to hold it in and that, you know, like, the only time you'll die is if in that final phase where it's like, got its belly all sort of exploring out, you know, and pretty much the minions, you know, they can quickly, like, once they turn into mature scions and they're all like, hitting you at once, and that, yeah, you can get hit surprisingly quick, even though you've got the right protection, and not merely like the last time. Yeah, it seems to be that you're more likely to get hit with range than you will be melee, and that, like, roughly maybe 2/3 of damage you'll receive is range, so it's better just to block that, you know, and that way, it still doesn't make you invulnerable, but at least it gives you more time to kill it without having to heal, and that, which is nice. So this is why this method melee works, and that, yeah, that, it's quite good indeed. Ah man, this boss though, this boss, look at that. Oh, the drops are coming in so nicely. But yeah, having said that, as of the recording of this, I've already done with the Abyssal Sire task, or rather, I gave up about 2/3 of the way. It was a 240 task. I only did about 160 kills because I was so like, fuck this. Like, yeah. I was hoping to get one in Sire, but nah, didn't get lucky. Although, you want to know this? Yeah, this that gets on my wick in that as well, because the Abyssal Demons, I've had bad luck in a way as well, because I've killed like close to 1100 of them, and of course, in the last 60, 70 kills and that, of fucking course, I get an Abyssal Whip from, you know, Abyssal Demon, my first drop from, like, the Abyssal Whip entirely. Of course, I get lucky with Abyssal Demons, not the fucking Abyssal Sire. I'm just like, fucking hell. Well, such is the way of it. I mean, at least it's like I can do it, and I'll probably give it another shot at some point in the future, because I like to think that, you know what, it's like, I can do this boss. It's not actually that hard, and that, you know, like, you saw my ass get handed to me, and the first time, that was with, when I had the Abyssal Weapon, it's just, nah. Actually, the Abyssal Bludgeon's half decent for this as well, but with the Art Light, you know, the only two bosses I could think, yeah, that and Krauta Setsuroth, that's the only two I think it's worth using on. Not even, I wouldn't even say Demonic Gorillas, although maybe at a push, maybe, but I feel like with them it's a tough sell, because yeah, you kill them a lot quicker, but I'd say maybe you have an excess, like, you got lots of spare. Sure, I guess. Just, I don't know. You know, and I'm not even at that point, because yes, I haven't even done a single Grandmaster quest out of the two, and I don't intend to till every single other quest is done. Excluding one very specific quest, but I'll keep that surprise for now. But yes, essentially here is, well, getting all sorts of fun. Also, yeah, be wary of the tentacles. Yeah, you might not think of it initially, but the spacing when you're like throughout most of the phases and that is you got to be very careful of it, because those things when you get like too like it's the same three squares, because you could veer too much to the left or right, those things will hit you, and they do kind of a bit amount of damage. Same with that fucking miasma, like they're fucking out. But yeah, the miasma is really bad. And you know, the only reason, as I found, the only reason you even want to carry that shit is pretty much for the sole purpose of, how would I even say it? It pretty much reduces that miasma damage by half, because I noticed when I didn't have it on, it was doing massive, like, I think I saw like almost 20 once, but when I did have the protection, it was really any higher than 6, so I was like, in that sense, it kind of works. Just as unfortunate as well, because when you're going into that, the second phase, and you know, when it's like, sticking its legs and like that, and doing the whole miasma stuff, you may notice, and see with that little bit there, yeah, that, you know, it could very well be that it teleports you right on top of it as it's just rarely summoned, and you take pretty much, you know, unavoidable poison damage, and unless you do it a different way, but, you know, as I say, that's pretty much been the way of it, you know. But, alas, so, I would say that Abyssal Sire is like, you know, not a bad one, I have to say. Not too shabby. But yeah, so, what else? What else? Indeed. So, as far as recent news are concerned, yes, been checking up more on Reddit, and although I don't have the notes with me this time, because I forgot, yes, oh boy, where do I start with the latest in man mode? Oh boy. You know, it was quite surprising to find out that, yeah, with this latest demo mode, man, what a fucking disaster it was. Yeah, spring demo mode of 2019 could very well be the last for a while, because of just the whole fucking thing. Like there wasn't anything other than the usual clan man sort of mode shenanigans. It wasn't until the finals where I think it got around 300 kills in that, and it happened with the Valorous sides, and I think the other half was in Demonic Runes or something. And essentially what happens is that once you get 256, they all get put in 1v1s, but the Valorous side got fucked over, because essentially they had this fog that was like instant 99 kill that they somehow left on there, and essentially everybody died. And the major fuck up came in the form of, well, they didn't have anybody like any like account backups or anything, and what really fucked them over is that even with like the whole, alright, we'll give you like sort of standards like sub-optimal gear sort of thing, so it's like in the middle kind of thing, but for the hardcore players it wasn't really satisfactory. They didn't even do that. And now I think I've heard some reports going from like 10-15% to around half-ish, as Jagex seems to admit, to upwards of 80%, and it's like, who the fuck knows? But yeah, essentially it was a massive disaster. It's why I keep saying, this would be the ideal opportunity. Try something different. Try Castle Wars. You know, give it a shot. It's like, if it does poorly, then at least you could say, well, we can't really do this because it just doesn't work. We gave it a good go. And yeah, it could be the butcher up, but at least to say, we give it a shot, because if it's done poorly, well, obviously that limits the potential somewhat, but even if people really like something different, and that shows enough, could be worth improving for the second time round. But if it just straight up sucks, and not even with it going alright, then it's like, at least you say, well, here's the proof. And it's just not sustainable, but at least we've tried, you know? It's that kind of thinking I really feel like, you know, could lead to an alternative, because that kind of thing's like, it actually encourages clans to, like, you know, it's not like with demo where they try to pretend like, oh, here's just a one person will win. Nah, you're going to get clans your way, but Castle Wars, though, it's like, you can limit the number, so it's like, say, maybe groups of 5, 10, or if you want, best get 20, and then have a sort of class point system where you can invest in all sorts of stuff. That kind of thing, it's like, I feel, yeah, it's just, much more sustainable in the long run, but alas, that is my opinion on that. Alright, so that's it here. Indeed. Almost finished as well, eh? Fuck me. Man. The Abyssal Sire, eh? Yep. So, essentially, this is sort of concluding on the, how shall I even say it? Yeah, the successful run. I think, I can't remember exactly how many kills it got, was it? I'm fairly sure that was somewhere around 20 to 22 kills. And now, of course, you can check back and now, yeah, that was it. 19 kills. Yes. So this is pretty much a sort of round of the loot, and I would say certainly, people say if you're really good at it, it's close to 1 million an hour, and that's without the uniques. With uniques, it's really fucking good. So it's like, it's got potential, I have to say. Certainly it does, but for now it's like, I don't know, bad sort of Abyssal Sire luck, and it's just a bit of a fucking farce if you ask me, but at least I'm glad I have this done out of the way, because of course next up is the Vetian. That will have to wait till the next level, and that, so yes. Indeed. Guess I'll see you guys then. Till then, folks.